Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Muted that whole time?
Yep, everyone's been muted. No one's all in the messages. So what? All I can say to you is, do you remember last time we spoke? I said, what's good about the preseason? And that guy came out, wasn't it? Trent Sheffield. Yeah. All I can say to you is,
yeah. Hey Daryl. I'm getting the echo.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you. That's on me, man. I was going down the list of players, giving you guys some picks. God. That's on me.
Good to see you, man. How you been? You been all right?
Excellent. I'm doing good.
Yeah, and your guy did good, didn't he? He made it to the roster. Arden
Key.
That was
you? Shoot,
that was you know? It's all you.
No, I can't take all the credit for it, but I have liked Arden Key for a long time since he came out of LSU, and he didn't perform well for the Raiders, but they don't have that much talent. The scheme was really vanilla.
You spotted that. That's you,
Thank
man.
You.
And do you know what? Do you know what we said before the preseason? I said to you, look, I'm watching this, and it's Trent Sheffield, isn't it? He's the guy that came out, the winner. If there's he's the guy who won it, yeah. The receiver,
absolutely. Yeah, Trent Sheffield looked really good.
Didn't he? And they don't have an award for that, do they? The winner of the preseason.
No. You know what? Preseason's over. We got to see it on the real field in these real games.
I mean, listen, I'm taking too much time. Do you know that there was a really good guitarist called Reinhardt who actually played with 3 fingers, and it made him really good? He's like one of the best guitarists ever. My question to you is, can he play with? Surely you can play with losing your little finger. Could you play a match if you had to?
So I believe it's the index, and we're talking about Trey Lance, right?
Yeah.
So the index finger.
Yeah.
That's the last one to touch the football. As you're throwing it and you're coming through, that index finger's the last one. And I heard someone in the comments speaking on their fractured finger, and it took them, 3 or 4 weeks to really get the feeling back in it. But obviously every injury is different. But I want to get to some of these comments. I appreciate it, Pinor, letting me know there was no sound. That was on me. Okay. I know. Okay. Josh, I was hoping I wasn't missing Josh's pack openings. He was popping open all these packs, and I was having fun checking it out, and I hadn't seen it in a while. So I was just checking. But Daryl.
Do you think, he will throw in against Detroit? No one's expecting it. Could you imagine if he gets on the field and actually throws one?
That's a really good. I was not prepared for that question, Daryl. That's a really tough, thoughtful question.
They would just blow them out. How about it's not as serious as we all think it is, and he can still throw on it. And as he's going out thinking to run, and he just does a throw, that would just confuse everybody, wouldn't it?
I definitely think he could throw a short pass for sure. Yeah. You could throw a short one because that, it's just a little dump off something short. Now to drop back 7 steps and then throw a 50-yard bomb like we saw versus the Chiefs. I don't know if you can make a throw like that with no index finger. All right. So, and I know I saw a photo, this was a couple days ago, but he had a splint on. All right. He had the splint on. It was all wrapped up. So, they're being cautious with it. And, if I had to bet, if you're telling me over or under 1 passing attempt for Trey Lance week 1, I'm going to take the over. They said it was a weak injury, right? And that felt obviously optimistic, but I'll take the over. I think maybe he throws a couple passes.
Well, I think if it does, it puts doubt into people's heads, and that's all what you need to do, isn't it? I mean, I don't know the game as much as you, but
well, that's why I love your perspective, Daryl. You're from the UK, so you got like this third perspective from way up high. You see things a bit different, and it's fresh, and I like that.
I mean, because then they're not expecting, and then they have to be prepared for something else. Do you know what I mean? Because then they're all prepared for something. And
NFL offense is about, even defense, it's about keeping the other team off balance, right? You got to keep them honest. If they know Trey can't throw and he's not throwing in warmups, and you put him out there, let me tell you, guess what? They're going to know it's a run. So they're going to blitz you. You never want the defense to know what's going on.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, you know you got more callers. Can I just say that my son's in Chico? He plays football. He plays soccer in Chico for Butte College, and he got tested.
That's Aaron Rodgers territory. Aaron
Rodgers, yeah. But this is not good. He got tested positive for COVID, right? And he hasn't got the symptoms or anything. He's not sick. And the poor guy has to self-isolate on his own for 10 days.
That's tough.
College. Yeah. And he's also missing matches as well.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, that's an absolute bummer. The season started and you test positive.
It's just really
that's
bad.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough. I hope all the best for him, and I hope he, fights it off and can get back out there with the team soon.
And the worst thing is the match that he missed was in Oakland, and that's really good temperature for him because that's a temperature. It's all about the heat, and he missed that match, and it was like lovely weather it's hard for them to play in the heat that they're not used to. Like it's really it's like 100 out there or something in Chico.
Yes, yeah. It's hot. It is hot.
Yeah. But anyway, look, I'll let you go. But there's the reason why is I might come because he's over there. There's more chance that I might eventually come. And if I do come to the 49ers, and I got another son that's a big 49er fan, he's 14. Hopefully I can meet you guys if I come out, to the match, and you'll be there or whatever. That's what I'm keeping.
Hey, if you come out from the UK, I gotta do my all to get out there because it's so much closer. I mean, I'm just a 45-minute drive away. So if you come out there, we'll make it happen.
And I so there's a realistic thing, if I can get it in with the schedule to go out there at some point. If I can try to go to a Niners game, then I might know people as well, even better. Imagine if you're there and we can cheer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. It'll be a blast.
Anyway, thanks for having me on, and to every. I haven't been listening much because I've been really busy here, so I'm not as much as I was. But
the season hasn't started yet, Daryl, so you're good. We're a week away. We're a week out.
Oh, you got to say hi to Grant. Wales won, so he'd be happy. Wales won against Belarus. Yeah.
Oh, Wales won. Okay, absolutely, absolutely. All right. If I talk to Gavin, I'll let him know.
Gavin, get him on if he's on. Is he on?
No, I don't see him waiting. I got a few people waiting, but not Gav.
Right. Well, look.
All right, Daryl. Talk to you later.
And all the best. All the best, mate.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye,
you.
Mate.
That was Daryl, better known as Alien Jazz Party on Twitter from the UK. Let's see, what's Pinor saying? I think we'll get playing time in the fourth, plus those red zone attempts we've seen in camp. Okay, yeah, in the red zone, I think you can definitely run him, right? I mean, the finger, wrap it up, just don't, hold on to the ball. And, I mean, defenders are going to be swatting for that ball, I'll tell you that. Let's get the next caller on here, and it's going to be Korean 49er. Korean 49er, what's going on?
I'm good, Eric. How are you?
Man, I'm a little bit bamboozled about how I let myself stay muted for so long.
Don't tell me you're like Grant. I'm trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. Sometimes he does that to himself, too.
You know what? I have seen that. Okay. All right. But, what I was doing while I was muted, I was talking about some of these players who made this 53-man roster, and maybe I can touch on them with you real quick, Kim. So, obviously, the QB, Jimmy G, Trey Lance, all right? Running back, Raheem, Trey Sermon, JaMychal Hasty. Hasty really played well in the preseason and pushed the Niners' hand to say, look, if you don't put me on this team, someone's going to swoop me up. How did you feel about Hasty in the preseason, Kim?
Hasty played well, deserved to be on the roster. My only other question about the running back was, if this team's going to be a run-heavy team, why did we not keep Coleman? Just because hopefully nobody gets hurt, but it always happens that someone's going to miss a game or two, and we already have Jeff Wilson out for until sometime in the middle of the season.
I was really optimistic about the Wayne Gallman signing. I thought he looked good last year for the Giants, but during the preseason, his acceleration just wasn't there for me. I don't know. I was expecting some more burst. The lateral jukes just weren't too impressive to me. I thought Gallman was better than what he showed in the preseason. I don't know if he might have been nicked up a little bit. Sometimes you're banged up and that it doesn't get released. You try to play through it. But I want to talk about Eli Mitchell because Eli Mitchell looks like he's going to get this first crack at kick return duties. Simba Webster was cut, right? And I think the Niners thought they were going to be able to stash him on the practice squad. No, the Bears swooped him up. And I thought Simba Webster was our most electric kick returner during the preseason. So I was disappointed that we weren't able to retain him. But Eli Mitchell, next man up. And I think that Eli Mitchell can be a really good kick returner. He's fast and he runs hard.
I believe in the last preseason game, didn't he have that really long return that was not negated? That 45-yarder or something like that?
You know what? I was at a birthday party for the second half of that third preseason game. So if it happened in the second half, I missed it.
I believe it might have been the second half. He had a pretty long return, and it looked like it was pretty good. So I don't have any problems if they're going to give the kick return role to Eli. So I don't have any problems with that.
Absolutely. No, and when we drafted him, I was wondering, I was like, can Eli Mitchell perform on kick return? Because that's a position that we haven't had. I mean, Richie James was just so mediocre, we haven't had a great electric returner since like the Ted Ginn days.
Yeah, Ted Ginn was the last good one we had. But according to from the depth chart of the offensive players, the one that I have the biggest question on is Jalen Hurd. Let's say I gave a great perform my butt off in camp, and I was one of the last cuts because of Jalen Hurd. How does that make me feel? I mean, nothing against Jalen Hurd. I'm not.
The guy doesn't do anything all preseason. Shows up the last week before the last preseason game. Plays and catches a couple balls, and then now after when they return to practice, what is he doing? He's working off on the side. Right? It's like, what's going on, man? He did just barely enough just to make the roster.
To me, I don't want to go into that. That's just another one of those things where I kind of have questions about Kyle and what he does with roster management. But I do have two main points, if you don't mind, Eric.
Yeah, please.
First point is I'm not happy with Kyle because, to me, when Bill Belichick gets a rookie in, what's the first thing he asks the rookie? They ask about the rookie. Tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can do. I mean, don't tell me what he can't do. You optimize the strengths, and then you work on the weaknesses during the season so you can get them at least manageable. To me, that's one of Belichick's great assets. Don't tell me what he can't do. Tell me what he can do good right now, and we can work on it.
And there's so many things that Trey can do. He's phenomenal running the football. We know that. We saw the bomb to Sherfield. He can unlock a deep part of this game. And why aren't we scheming up these Jimmy Gimmies? A caller on the Cone phone yesterday was talking about it. And it's like, where are the jet sweeps for Trey? Where are these quick little slants? I mean, he did get some slants, but Trey needs to take some of the velocity off on these short passes. So, and the only way he's going to get better is by what? Is by playing and practicing. He needs reps.
So that kind of leads to the second point off Trey. I'm kind of worried that this injury Trey has is going to be lingering a little bit longer because usually when injuries happen to a 49ers player, they say, oh, he'll be back in 3 weeks, but then it usually ends up being 5 to 6 weeks out for whatever reason. I'm not going to speculate on that, but to me, they've done that numerous times, and I've always – the benefit of the doubt is kind of gone now.
Well, what I can tell you is I fractured a bone in my wrist playing baseball, and it was the scaphoid. All right, and it actually pretty much ended my baseball career. I was playing JUCO, and what the doctor put me in a cast above my elbow, and as a pitcher, I was immobilized for a month. So what I wanted to reference is it took a month for that bone, because I guess bones in your wrist and your hand heal a little bit slower. So I had a cast on for a month on my wrist injury. So is Trey going to be able to play 2 weeks out from a small chip? And again, what is a small chip? So there's so much that we don't know about this injury, but I want to see him out there. So
we all want to see him out there getting reps and doing a great job out on the field. One other thing, one last question for you, Bay Area. Do you realize that the 49ers only have around $800,000 in cap space as of today before week 1? Are you aware of that? I thought I saw that somewhere. I don't want to, if I misread that, I apologize. But to me, It's like we give these 1-year contracts with dead money. And it's like, I remember Wayne Gallman signed a $1 million 1-year, $1 million contract, but he had no guarantee. So I believe there's no dead money in that, but we have a lot more dead money than anticipated this season. And that's kind of goes on Parag and John.
I mean, and Swan's saying less than that. And that's bad, because in season, you have to make a move or two. Like we tried to bring in Ziggy Ansah, right? Obviously it didn't work out. He got injured instantly, but it's like usually there's a move or two that has to be made. What happens if a kicker or a punter goes down? God forbid. We don't have a backup on the practice squad. It's one of those things where you have to sign somebody. And the fact that you're telling me we have less than $1 million, that's concerning.
To me, when they traded up to number 3, that was the time to cut the cord with Jimmy. Because let's say they were going to get that quarterback. Not saying Trey wasn't the pick at the time, but we know it is now. How are you going to get him up to speed on trying to be a potential starting quarterback? You got to get him all the snaps you can, and that, unintentionally delayed Trey's development.
I know. And I was on board. I was on board with you, Kim. We were pounding the table that, hey, let's give Trey the shot. Let's save the money. But at this point, I've moved past it, because Trey's nicked up and Jimmy's going to be here. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we're even going to restructure his contract, which what was my goal. If we did keep Jimmy as the starter and say, look, Jimmy, we could have cut you and yet you wouldn't have made this, renegotiate down to 15 mil. But I don't even think that's going to happen. But I'm moving forward with optimistically about this 2 quarterback approach. I think it can work. And I want to shout out Amin. He's my next call. I don't want to lose him. The legend that is Amin the Dream. So stay tuned for my next call. But
one last point with you, Eric, and then I'll let you go to Amin.
Yeah.
Did you watch the stream with Grant? And I can't remember if it's with Rob or Coach, but they more or less said we are dependent on a full healthy season from Jason Verrett and Trent Williams. And when's that ever happened in their careers? I don't recall that unless I'll look it up, but they've always missed a game or two a season. And if we're in the chase for a playoff spot and we can't, and they're not able to play, that impacts all the other positions, because now they're going to pick on whoever the replacement is for.
What I will say is, Korean 49er, Kim, what I will say is about Jason Verrett, I thought Diamador Lenore played really good, to the point where if he is forced into starting duties, I think he can be solid. And almost comparable to Emmanuel Mosley. I feel like Demo might be like an Emmanuel Mosley 2.0, where he's just a really solid football player. He's not locked down where he's going to hold DeAndre Hopkins to zero catches or 1 catch, but he can make it tough on him. And he's also a willing tackler. So that is something that I like to see from the cornerback position, and Demo has it. So that's one thing that's kind of eased my mind a bit, where if we did lose a Jason Verrett, Demo's stepped up, and I think he can be a solid fill-in.
Yeah, agree there. I just kind of worry more about keeping the quarterback upright, because if Jimmy's going to be the starter, and let's say Trent Williams out for a game, you're going to have to scheme up something to keep, J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones at bay, with Jalen Moore, maybe George Kittle and Juszczyk, chipping as needed. That's not. I don't think
know
that's
what you mean.
Fit.
Well, we made it work with Justin Skule, right? And Justin Skule was very good, in my opinion. So we made it work. So could we do something similar with Jalen Moore, a guy who's on the IR who I thought played really good against the Chiefs, and then he was hurt again, like the rest of his career, was Sean Coleman. We did end up retaining his services, but he's on the IR. I don't know if that's for the year or what. I liked Sean Coleman, but you're right. I mean, Trent, there's a reason why we just made him the highest paid tackle of all time.
Yeah, so appreciate you taking my call, and thank you for doing another call-in show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks, Kim. All right. Oh, I lost my man Amin. Oh, you know what I forgot to touch on while I was muted? This is good. This is a perfect time. The link is in the description. Let me put this link in the chat. That way, so I'm looking for one or two more callers before I wrap this up. Jersey reveal. I copped a new jersey. All right. I ordered this before the extension. Who is it? Fred Warner. What's good? Okay, there we go. Swan, what's going down?
What's up, Bay Area baller? So,
hey, man. Nice chatting with you. We had a long talk in the Discord the other night. That was a lot of fun. So I'm glad you called in.
Yeah, it's always good talking to you, man. You got it swagged out right now. I dig in the jersey, dig in the hat. Love it.
It just came in. This thing just came in. I ordered it before.
It looked like it has the stitch patch. You have the stitch.
Nah, man. Dude. Nah, dude. It's not the stitched one. And I know that if I would have known that all I had to do was go to Santa Clara to get the stitched one that's authentic. The gold, you know how you know on the stitched one, the gold is shining, man. And on this one, it's like, it's not popping like
next
that.
Next jersey.
Yeah. But I wanted the white one. Anyway, what's up, Swan?
Okay, so something different. Look at what I put on private chat. So I'm not sure if it's kosher to talk about this stuff on here. On like sports betting? Is sports betting legit? Can you talk about
Hell yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know what I'm going to start doing, Swan? Coming up, stay tuned. But I'm going to be doing some DraftKings lineups on here where I'm going to talk through the audience, what I'm thinking, get their thoughts. We're going to fill out some lineups because I hit for 7K last year.
Damn.
On DraftKings.
Man.
So I'm gonna do some of that. So absolutely. You kidding?
That Ohtani bet that you got? Oh my God! You might as well that's in the bank.
Thank you.
In the bank.
Ohtani. What he's referencing is my bet for Shohei Ohtani to win AL MVP that I put in before the season even started. Shohei was hitting really good in spring training, and I'm like, if Shohei's about to go off and this guy throws 100 miles an hour with the splitty, I was like, this guy can be the MVP. And I mean, I didn't see this great, phenomenal of a season coming from Shohei, but I mean, he was outstanding. He's my favorite baseball player outside of the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so I sent a link in private chat. If you have the chance to click on that link, it's like a Vegas insider. So I want to do a 3-team teaser, right? Like these are crazy. I love these bets because they're crazy. I don't ever put a lot of money in it, like maybe $100 here and there. So I'm thinking about a 3-team teaser, and you get 10 points to put anywhere you want in the spread, whether it's over, under, or adding to the
I'm pulling it up. I want to see what you're talking about. Okay, run that back. You want to do a teaser?
A 3-team teaser. So when you pick a 3-team teaser, you get 10 points. So let's say like on that Tampa game, instead of giving up 7.5, you get 2.5, right? And you get to pick any 3 teams you want, right?
Yes.
So what do you like on there? What do you like on there?
Okay. I mean, I like San Francisco. I feel like San Francisco's a lock.
No way
now
you
you're
use that game, right?
Now you're gonna give me 3.
Give you 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
7.5.
Okay. So so if they somehow lost on like a last second field goal and lose by 1 or 2, you still cover.
Yeah.
So I'm going San Francisco. Ooh. Yeah. New England, Miami. Do I want to touch that one? Oh, you know what? I'm going Rams. I'm going.
It's hard, huh? It's hard if like
Yeah,
the Rams, like you don't
is.
know. Like Chicago has a good defense, you don't know what the Rams. It's
I
at
know,
LA
but it's
though,
like,
right?
are they starting? They're starting Andy Dalton.
Yeah, they're starting Andy Dalton, and their offensive line is trash, dude. Chicago's offensive line is so bad.
Yeah, I like this. This is fun. You know what? Usually I don't mess around with the teasers too much.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I haven't had, mostly my betting has been daily fantasy the last few years. And I closed out my betting account because, man, that can get a little risque when you got your account and you're punching in those digits. But I was always hovering around like 500 at the end of the day. It's like you'd win 100 or 200 this week. You'll lose 100 or 200 that week. And so I have more fun like with the season-long bets. But I like San Francisco. Oh, I'm going Minnesota. Okay, those are two. I like Minnesota.
Yeah, you get 13 points with Minnesota too. Oh no, 7. You get 7.
Yeah, no, because they're favored. San Francisco, Minnesota. Is the chat saying? What's the chat saying?
Yeah, what is chat saying?
What's good? Big play Slay. We're trying to figure out this 3-team teaser. So we said Niners, Vikings. All right, let's get one more team. I was gonna say Atlanta, but it's like, nah, they got a new coach coming in, right? They got a new coach over in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like the first game. No?
Is Arthur Smith, he's the new coach?
I think so. That's the guy who just came over from the Titans.
See, like I wouldn't touch the Cleveland KC game just because
I know I wouldn't touch that one. Yeah. Oh, you know where I'm going? I'm going Raiders, dog. I'm going Raiders. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not it. I scrolled too far. That was the next week. The Raiders were getting points.
Miami, New England is sketchy too. Like you don't know.
Oh, you
like,
know
Miami's
what? I will go Raiders. I'm going to include the Monday night game.
Okay.
Baltimore's getting 5.5. I get to make that 15. That's where I'm going.
And you know what's cool about when it's a Monday night game, when it's the last game, you can hedge your bet. So let's say you won your 2 other teasers.
No, I hate that, Swan. I hate that. That's weak sauce, dog.
Yeah,
that's weak sauce.
Yeah, I've done that sometimes.
I hate hedging. I don't hedge.
No.
Like this Shohei bet, like if Vlad Guerrero went off, it's like, oh, I could hedge it by betting on Vlad Guerrero. No, you let it ride, dog. No, maximize your money.
No, check this out. But sometimes because of how huge the spread is, you can hedge the bet and you can win both. I mean, it's crazy. You get what I'm saying? You can win both. Yeah.
No, that'd be insane. It'd be like if it maybe was 1 point and you hit it right on the mark, I could see how that's possible. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this pretty much all year. I mean, at some points, like if I'm winning, if I start losing, then I'll just stop altogether. Like I get to a limit where if I lose, I'm going, okay, forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. So I'm pretty good about that. I'm not too degen on that, but it's
Oh
always a
yeah,
fun thing to
no.
do.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful on there.
Man, I can't wait till this season starts because it seems like we've covered everything, right? This summer, we covered
Everything's
everything.
been beaten to
Yeah.
death. We got so many good content creators on the 49ers YouTube that, I mean, everything's been covered. And one thing I'm looking forward to, I need the All 22 to come back because that's what I love to do. I love to watch the All 22. I need NFL Game Pass to include that on there. But I want to shout out Raymond and the chef, who are both in the chat. So first I got to get to Ray, and then I got the chef. I appreciate you guys. And those are going to be my last two callers because I wanted to keep this around 45 minutes to I could probably go closer to an hour. We'll see. But Swan, what do you got on your mind?
I guess I don't really have anything on my mind. I'm going to ask you, what is the number one thing that you're looking forward to week 1? Like one thing. That's it.
I mean, Trey Lance would have been the answer before the finger, right? Just seeing the 2 quarterback approach actually would have been the answer, because I do think I'm one of these guys who thinks the 2 quarterback system can work. I heard a lot of negative talk about, quarterbacks need to get their rhythm. And you know what? Teams are going to have to prepare for 2 completely different quarterbacks. I mean, Jimmy, he's got the quick release. He likes to throw the short passes. All right. Trey, he's got the mobility. He can unlock the deep part of the field outside the numbers. So I was really looking forward to that. But now I'm kind of under the assumption it's going to be primarily Jimmy week 1. So what about DeMeco Ryans' defense? I want to see what DeMeco's really going to do. It looks like he's going to be running more man. I expect a bit more man-to-man defense than although Rob Saleh mixed it up between zone and man. Felt like Rob was a bit more predominantly zone, where I feel like DeMeco's going to be heavier on man.
Yeah, I can see that.
But we won't know till the start of the season, because it's like preseason. You work on the stuff. He was working on both, but I felt like there was some more man defense that I was picking up on. That's what's leading me to this idea. But that's something that I got my eyes on. What is DeMeco Ryans' scheme defensively? How much do we blitz?
I really, I think all that's going to depend on how good the D-line looks. I think if the D-line is dominant, they could go either zone or man. Like we talked about that a little bit the last week. I think it's going to be fascinating to see how good that D-line is going to be. Like I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I mean, Nick Bosa is the guy who stirs the drink.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, do we expect him to be on a snap count early on in the season? I feel like he's going to be on a bit of a snap count.
Yeah,
Swan. I don't think we're going to unleash him for 60 to 70% of these snaps right off the bat.
Yeah, I think with Nick's team and the team and the 49ers, right? Because his camp, like, him, his dad, his brother, whatever, whoever does their regimen, like, they have it down, right? So I bet you they have all of this already been planned out like a month ago, like of how he's going to ease back into the game, right? Like, I bet you all of that's been planned out already.
You're right. Literally, their snap counts are already divvied out, and they know the percentage of how they want it to go. On third down, they know who they want out there. That's where you're going to probably save some of Bosa's reps, is for third down. Same thing with D Ford, right?
Yeah,
D Ford, I expect to only see on third down or pass rushing situations.
Yeah, and we need these guys for the end of the year, right? Because, I mean, of course, we got to win games here, but I'm glad that we start off with 2 teams that are like, not so great. But we need these guys at the end, or we don't have these guys at the end, and we're a different team.
Absolutely. No, you got that right. And hey, Swan, thanks for calling in. I want to get to Ray, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, whether it's on the Discord or my next call-in show, I'll talk to you later.
Man. Thanks for taking the call.
All right, Swan. Ray. Let's get him on here. Ray, what's popping?
What up, baller?
Hey, Ray, thanks for calling in. You know, I love to hear your opinion. You got some strong takes, and I want to know what's on your mind, man. We're a week out.
I know, man. We're a week out. I can't wait. So I think, you know, for what's on my mind is the 2 QB system. Now, I know Trey's got a hurt finger right now. But to me, in my opinion, it's a blessing in disguise. And let me tell you why. So to me, it's a blessing in disguise.
The finger injury is a blessing. Okay.
I think it's a blessing in disguise for a couple of reasons. The first game, even the second game, however long Lance needs to sit out, I was never really with the 2 QB system. I think in order for an organic move to be made with the quarterback situation the way it is that Jimmy needs to either win or Jimmy needs to lose. If Jimmy wins and does what he's going to do without Trey in the lineup, fine. He's winning this year. Whatever, he's winning. But if he starts to lose, it makes the transition easier to move on from. You know, because to me, the 2 QB system, it's like you want to have your cake and eat it too. You want to use Jimmy for this, but then you want to use Trey for this, right? And the problem with that is, yeah, it may lead to winning. And if you start winning in that fashion consistently, it's hard to say, well, we're just going to go to Trey now and move on from Jimmy and not think anybody in the locker room is going to care about that. You dig? So if you end up creating that type of dynamic, it might seem great, but there's always a consequence to trying to have your cake and eat it too. Whether you see it now or later, that's the thing. So if I look at it from that perspective, it's if Trey doesn't play, fine, because you get to evaluate Jimmy. You get to see how Jimmy's going to do. Maybe you put him in some situations that it's not typical Jimmy offense where he's just throwing slants or throwing overs in the middle of the field. Maybe you make Jimmy make those throws downfield.
Because honestly, I don't even think he would attempt them, though. I don't even think he'd attempt them, Ray.
I don't know. That's what I mean, though. In terms of evaluation. If the play is there and you're not taking those plays and you're struggling on offense because of it, then once again, it just lets the team know where you're at with him, because obviously there is a reason they kept him. You know, there's a reason they kept him. They could have moved on, but they didn't. So we can say, hey, it was because Trey's not ready, or it's that Shanahan felt like no matter what, Jimmy was going to play this year. We really don't know at this point, because everything that Kyle and John have said, their actions somewhat contradict it. You know, when you say, oh, I love Jimmy, we believe in Jimmy, but it's like, dog, you were talking to every quarterback and their mama in the offseason, and then you give up the house to get a rookie, and it's like your actions don't match up with your words. Because if you felt that way about Jimmy, you invest in a first-round pick for something that's going to make him better, something he needs to be better, whether it's an offensive lineman, whether it's whatever you wanted to do. Something for him, basically. Like some people were like, it would have been wild if they would have got Kyle Pitts or something like that. But I'm just saying, if you felt your quarterback situation was secure, you don't do all those things that you did, and you don't need to tell everybody what you were thinking. That's my other problem. Is like, and I think that's what causes confusion amongst fans is people make it seem as if it's one clear-cut thing they've said or done, and there's so much nuance to everything that's happened this offseason that to not think that it was going to cause any problems within the fan base or within the locker room, more importantly. We're fans. We have no effect. We could say, hey, it's because the fans make a call for a certain player in the draft. Like, man, we had nothing to do with that. That was all Kyle and John. They make the decisions. They're not influenced by the public. So when you look at it from that perspective and people say, you know, you should just be faithful with the team, you should just ride with their decision making. The problem is it's a business and we're fans and the fans pay for the business, right? So at the same time, when you see people saying one thing and doing another, it makes it very hard for people to be like, yeah, you never strike out. You never make a mistake, because we've seen the decisions where these guys have made mistakes.
Everyone sees it. We see the draft picks you made. We see Dante Pettis, Solomon Thomas. You can't hide that from us.
Yeah,
hey, Ray,
so it's fair.
And I wanna say, you know what? One of the first things you brought up was if we just went with Jimmy, it's more obvious to the eye. Hey, is Jimmy winning? Is he losing? And playing the two quarterbacks kind of obscures that, where the vision isn't as clear. How is exactly. I still think with the two QBs, I see what you're saying. I think we would still be able to decipher how is Jimmy playing. All right, because I only expect some sprinkles of Trey here and there.
I guess what I'm saying is with the two QB system, it's like everything's great if it's all rolling good. Everything's great. But what happens if Jimmy's playing really well and Trey's not? And you're taking Jimmy off the field to put Trey in? And what if it's vice versa? Where Trey's playing really good, but Jimmy's not?
Well, if it's vice versa and Trey's playing well, then the answer is you bench Jimmy and Trey needs to be the starter. That's that answer.
No, I feel you on that. But what happens to the team when they're like, all right, so you're putting Trey in because Trey's just better, right? And you're taking Jimmy off because he struggled or whatever it may be. So when Trey struggles, are you juggling back and forth going to Jimmy now? Because in the locker room, they might say, well, why'd you do that to Jim and you ain't doing it to him if he's not playing well? You moved one in and you moved one out. I just feel like the dynamics are everything's great if it's all positive. But in reality, there's going to be some ups and downs. And in those downs, what happens? What does that do to our locker room? I think it's real easy to think you could just do whatever you want and there's no consequence or anything. But these are still grown people. They're all got their own personal emotions. They all got their own personal ties. There is that type of dynamic involved in it, whether we want to act like it is or not. It is part of life. It's just natural. But to the point about those two quarterbacks this season is I think people get it misconstrued when it's like, yeah, a lot of us were ready to move on from Jim already because we see like, yeah, he's got the wins behind him, which is key because when everything's going great and they get those wins, it is solid. Like I told people before, I would give him credit for 2019. Why would I not give him credit? He played good during 2019. Yeah, he didn't play the best, but he played good. Now in the playoffs, that was always my problem though, is that during that pivotal time of the season, during the playoffs, is when players have to step up. When players have to elevate their game. You can't play like you did in the regular season. You got to elevate your game.
No, after Jimmy threw that, he threw the pick to Eric Kendricks, almost threw another one, and then it was over. Shanny's dialing up run plays. Why? Because he can, and we had the running back to do it in Raheem Mostert. We were blocking well. He was running well. So at that point, it's like, why the hell would I throw? Just keep handing it off. It's working.
Because I think what people forget is like in the playoffs, you're playing the best of the best every game. So if you're playing the best of the best defensive coordinators and they've watched your film during 2019 and are looking at what Jimmy does really well, it's the intermediate game. So there's no reason why when Mike Zimmer is going to play you, he's not going to take that away and say, beat me another way then. I'll take away that. Beat me another way. And so you can say, he's like, all right, well, you're going to take away the mid game. I'm just going to run at you, Mike. And you ain't going to stop the run then. It's always like a give and take on the play calls. Who's going to win in certain matchups? Who's got the better players in the trenches?
You can't stop everything.
Who's got the better team?
You can't stop everything.
Exactly.
Something's got to be. Something's open. Something's available.
The problem is what I feel like Shanahan understands at its core, though, is you have to have balance. You have to have balance. Because there's going to come a time in a game where you can't run. Maybe it's because of the score. Maybe it's because of time. But sometimes you have to pass. There is no ability to run. You can't shave off time because time is precious. So in those moments, it's like, do you feel like Jimmy is capable of winning those games when there's limited time? Does he have the arm to stay in the pocket and evade the rush? Does he have that ability to know where to go when he has to go through his progressions from 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4? Does he have that ability?
Let me tell you,
I think that's the frustrating part.
He can, but it's not to the level that an Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson, a Drew Brees. When those guys get the ball with 2 minutes left, down by 5, it's like, all right, these guys, Tom Brady, these guys are going to get a touchdown and seal the game. It's like with Jimmy, it's like it can happen, but it's like you're at the edge of your seat, like, please make this throw. You know what I mean? Where it's not routine.
It's like the thing about Jim, though, that's frustrating is like I feel like he did lose confidence. He lost confidence throughout the year. Throughout the seasons he's been here, he's lost confidence. And sometimes people say, well, maybe it's because the coach and the coach is hard on him, or maybe the coach does. But my thing is like, if you just go back to like 2017 and you look at what Jim did well, it was like Jim did well when you let him just play free shotgun ball, where you're just back there letting him just pretty much do what he wanted to do, because he didn't know the offense that great at that time, so they played to his strength. And you just look at Jim's skill set, it's like Jim was probably always meant to be in a shotgun style offense where he gets to read immediately pre-snap, because he doesn't have the athleticism to turn his head and be quick enough to boot out without getting hit or worrying
and
about.
And that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing in New England. They're a ton of shotgun over there. Yeah.
So the fit was never that great for Kyle to force him to play that style of offense. And it's like, Kyle is so, I want you to play what I want to call because I feel like this is going to win. When it's like, Kyle, sometimes, bro, maybe you should have just adapted to Jim and just played him more in the shotgun if that's what he was good at, you know?
That's not the Shanahan philosophy, though. That's not the Shanahan. I know. That's they're under center. And that's their blood.
And I feel like the reason is they're always looking for the quarterback who can execute the offense they want to run that they believe in. So if you look at like an Andy Reid, that's the offense Andy's always wanted to run. Andy's always biggest flaw was he wants to pass too much. He doesn't want to stick to the run. He doesn't want to run when he should run. And Andy was like, no, I need the quarterback who can do what I want to do, basically. Once I find that guy can do what I want to do, I'll show you that it's going to work. So for Shanahan, when we look at system fits, it's like, damn, Lance fits like a glove. You're talking about a guy who went to college and played in that type of style of offense, and now he's coming to yours, the one you want to run. That's the offense you want to run. You want to run the play action, bootlegs, and stuff because you want to have balance. You want to be able to hit people when they don't expect it. So I don't know what's going to happen with the 2 QB system thing this year. I just kind of feel like you need to let for every insult Jim's got in the offseason, for everything he's done that hasn't been the best, because we get frustrated with his decision making at times, it's like he's played it well enough to where I think he's earned the shot to build either his credibility up for the next team he goes to, or show that he might not have it. So it's either one. It's either one. And he has no excuse, because this team I think is more talented than 2019 on offense. I think it's more talented. I think our whole team, top to bottom, is one of the most talented teams we've had in years. Like, it's really,
and that's
deep.
Why I think we have a legitimate shot at a Super Bowl. I think we can do it.
Yeah. I think so too. It's just the problem though is like, if we weren't 49er fans and we were looking at another team and they're having these quarterback discussions about who's going to be, it'd be like, damn, man, until you get that settled, don't talk about Super Bowl. It's like, you need to get that position settled first, you know? Because I think for me as a fan, I want us to get to the playoffs this year, big time. Like, I just want to get to the playoffs. Whatever happens after
anything
that
can happen.
You know what I mean?
Anything can happen once you get in the playoffs. But Ray, I got to get to my man Tommy. But first of all, I appreciate you calling in, because I love when you do. And is there any last thoughts that you want to share with the fan base before I let you go? You just hit on a ton of topics. You just went off right now, which I love.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Week 1, Niners. Let's dog the Lions. I don't know what your score prediction is, but mine.
Don Burr, we're coming for you, Don Burr.
Don Burr, good luck, buddy. Hey, you're a consistent troll. I appreciate you. Jets gang. I wish, man, these guys, they're consistent trolls, but at least they hang around.
I know. Hey, one day they were getting under your skin. I had that like 2 months ago. Yeah. But it happened to you like last week. I was like, Ray is
sometimes
at them boys
sometimes
today.
Sometimes I just like to troll them too, though, just to dig at them, because I know there's certain things that they can't deny. You know, like for Don Burr, like the 0-16. Like, I can't let you live that down, bro. You're a Lions fan. 0-16 forever.
That just happened not too long ago.
That's what I'm saying. So week 1, though, score prediction. What do you got, babe?
I'm gonna say 27-20. 27-20 Niners.
27-20.
Yeah,
that's fair, man. It's on the road. One possession. I'm gonna go 34-17.
I like it.
And the reason why, the reason why is I need to see that type of performance from Jim against a Detroit Lions defense that's rebuilding in year 1 of the regime. We're in year 5. We should be by far ahead of the curve when it comes to this matchup.
We should be carving them up. You're right. We should carve them up. They're still figuring out. This is their first game. New DC. They're still figuring. They don't have a plethora of talent on that roster. You're right, Ray. We should beat them by a wider margin.
Yeah, so we'll see. But like your score prediction though, I feel like that if it turns into an ugly game where it's like there might be a couple turnovers or some 3 and outs, there might be some. I think it can be very close because they do got some good players in the trenches on both sides of the ball. I think they revamped both sides of those. So anytime you do that, you got a shot on any Sunday. So we'll see how it goes though. But thanks for taking my call. Keep it up. Been hella busy lately. Haven't been able to chat as much lately. I was telling people I've been busy lately. So finally, Earth's getting back to normal a little bit. Work slowed down a little bit finally. So grilling, barbecuing today. So hey.
Enjoy it. All right, Ray.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
Peace. Yeah.
Right. All right, my man Tommy's been waiting a while. Tommy, thank you for your patience.
What's up,
first
babe?
of all, let me tell you, I'm one who knows you don't want to get on Tommy's bad side. All right, Tommy. Hey, first of all, you're a phenomenal guitarist. I know I've checked out some of your YouTube. In fact, you should shout out anyone who's into. Now, are you primarily electric guitar? Forgive me, I'm not a musician. Or are you? What's your expertise?
Well, I play both. You know, I mean, I prefer electric. It's easier on the fingers, but you know. But I play blues is like my specialty, you know. But I play all styles, whatever. So, yeah, my YouTube channel is just my name. You just type that in, you can find it.
There it is.
So what's good, man?
We just cut this roster down to 53 guys, so that's like
exactly
that's been on my mind. You know what I mean? And what are your thoughts?
It's a head scratcher for one. Simba getting rid of him. What was that?
Dude, he was our most electric kick returner since we've had since Ted Ginn. It's like finally somebody. Richie James just catches it and he's just running. Oh, let me go here. Oh, and then he goes down. It's like catch the ball, hit the hole, get some yards, and that's what Simba was doing.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed that we couldn't find a way to keep him. I agree with that.
I think they got cocky and they're like, "Oh, we'll just put him. No one's gonna pick him up." I'm like, "Are you stupid?" I mean, they're watching everything we do, and they saw he had talent. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna steal this dude."
Yeah, that game against the Chiefs, I was at that game, and it wasn't only the first kick return. Then right after that, the next play, he gets the end around that he busts for like 30 or 40 yards, and it's like, oh, this guy looked like a keeper, but no, we decided to keep Tom Compton.
Oh, Jesus, don't even go there. That guy, like I said, he's Jim Carrey in Liar Liar. I'm kicking my own ass.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked. I was shocked that Compton made it. It's like you couldn't find a better player to keep. Like there's Tom Comptons out there on the waiver wire everywhere.
Yeah, but what's Brendel? He's on the practice squad. I mean, I think he's solid. I mean,
yeah. I thought he was very competent during the preseason. You know, when with offensive line, if you're not getting bullied and beat to the point where it's like, okay, this guy's not doing his job, then to me, it's like you're doing solid, all right? Because with offensive linemen, it's like we expect them just to hold up, block their guy, and then it's when they get beat is that you really notice, like, oh, man, you see McGlinchey just got knocked on his butt by a linebacker. That's when you see it. And you didn't notice a lot of that with Brendel, so I think he held up well.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other? Yeah, and
you know what? Let me. I can pull up the depth chart right there, and then it'll jog your memory quickly, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I think Jalen Moore is he's got more potential than Banks right now, but Banks is injured.
Banks is injured, and a guy who I always liked is Sean Coleman.
Yeah,
and he's 2019 he tore his ACL, and then last year he opted out because he had some medical where COVID could be more harmful to him.
Oh, okay.
But he was back this year, and he played well against the Chiefs first preseason game, but then he went out with a knee, and it's like,
okay.
I don't know. So he's already missed a bunch of years, and he still can't stay healthy. But he played good versus the Chiefs, so he's on the IR. We put him on the IR. So
yeah. And Banks is I've always said he was a reach. I wanted Creed Humphreys, but I guess they didn't get Creed Humphreys. He's a center, and we already had Alex Mack. But
that's a Band-Aid, though. Alex Mack is a Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So getting a guy like Creed Humphrey, who, you heard about his prestigious college career, I remember.
I would have taken him or Asante Samuel. I mean, Banks was a reach. I mean, he's not really a scheme fit either. I think they wanted him to be like kind of a mauler.
You know what I think when they drafted Banks, Tommy, I think they were thinking like, this is our Chris Jones stopper. Like, he's going to be able to hold up against these big bull rush. Because in that Super Bowl, Chris Jones just kicked the shit in of the right guard.
He had a field day.
Was it Person? It was Person, right?
I believe so.
I think it was Person. So when they drafted Banks, they're thinking, all right, here's our big boy. He's going to solve that problem. But
I don't think he's going to be a bust, but needs way more development. I hope I'm wrong that he's not a bust.
You know what? He looks the part. He's got the look of like a really elite offensive lineman. I don't know, just how he's built, like with his shoulders. And
I could dig that.
His girth. But it's like, you need more than just the size.
Yeah. And Jalen Hurd, I don't know. I mean, I guess we knew that was going to happen if he was healthy, but he hasn't proved anything. He doesn't have that burst he used to have, but he's huge. No. He's 6'5". And I think they want to utilize that in the blocking scheme. So because you saw when Kittle got injured or whatever, the running game went to hell.
So and you know what else I was thinking with the two tall targets that we kept, Jawan Jennings and Jalen Hurd? Where has Trey been missing his passes, reportedly, right? He's missing high. So now you got two big targets, right? 6'5" and 6'3". They should be able to deal with some of these high passes better.
Absolutely.
That was a thought I had.
Yeah, I wonder, he throws really fast, Lance. We could use him on the Giants today. We need some pitchers, man.
I know. I watched that game. What was it? Friday night. That game was electric. That was a really fun baseball game to watch. Yesterday, not so much. Not so much.
It's the bullpen. They can't do starting pitching. We can't have bullpen games. That's a loss. But whatever.
Shout out to my boy Lule watching on Twitch. What's up, Lule? Yeah, Red Zone. Red Zone, that we might see some more, because someone's got to step up, because I feel like Bourne was one of our top Red Zone targets over the last couple years.
They should use Sherfield that way. But Juwan Jennings too, I guess. I don't know.
Someone's going to have to step up. George Kittle, can you get more than 5 touchdown passes in a season?
There you go.
His season high for touchdowns is 5. And it feels like he should be able to get closer to double digits, right?
Yes. He's getting paid enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Travis Kelce, you can write in Sharpie like 10 touchdowns every year.
Absolutely. There's one thing I wanted to talk. Did you hear about? You must have saw Grant's video about how he's picking the Cardinals to be number 1.
You know what? I did see that. And
I love Grant, but that's just totally. I disagree 1,000% on that one. I mean, sorry, it keeps falling out. They're loaded with talent, but there's only so much they can do with that trash coach they have. Cliff Dingleberry is the worst coach in the NFC West.
Yeah, I agree. And once they realize that and they kick him out, if they bring in like a competent coach, then the Cardinals, they could be scary. But I'm with you. I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury guy. You can run out 4 wide receiver sets all you want. This game is about being physical in the trenches. Kyler Murray's electric, but let me tell you, Tommy, if you can keep him in the pocket, him being 5'9", really, if you keep him in the pocket, he doesn't see a lot of the open receivers down the field. Exactly. He's got a cannon, but he uses it better when he escapes the pocket. So if you're able to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket, That's the recipe for success. Easier said than done.
Well, with Ebicom, I think we can do that, but I'm not sure how many downs he's going to play, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So on that note, do you think who's better, Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray. I'm taking Kyler Murray. It's really close. Lamar Jackson, I've always talked about him as like he's a running back and a quarterback in the same body, but the quarterback aspect isn't very good as a pure
that's
quarterback.
what I think.
But he's so electric as a runner. You can win with him. You can. I mean, we're talking about one of the most electric ball carriers in all of the NFL, and the guy's a quarterback. In terms of how fast, how shifty he is, it's scary. But throwing the ball, he's
average,
below mediocre. He's below mediocre, just as a passer. I mean, ask Marquise Brown, ask Hollywood Brown, who was dynamic at Oklahoma. I believe he was playing with Baker Mayfield, and it's like now he's a speedster. Tommy, this guy, when they drafted him, they were thinking, "Oh, let's pair speed with speed. We got Lamar Jackson. Let's get Hollywood Brown." And Hollywood Brown's open deep, but Lamar, he doesn't have the passing IQ to get it done.
Exactly.
So I'm going Kyler because I think Kyler is a more natural thrower of the football, and he is also a really good runner.
And he had that Hail Murray. That was a pretty good. That was luck, but it was also skill. So.
I mean, that's Hopkins too, man. Hopkins, he just went up. There was like 3 defenders there, and Hopkins just high pointed that ball.
That's why I think he's the best receiver in the entire league.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's up there. I would, to be honest, Tommy, you know who I think is, and I don't like him as a human being. I think he's done some questionable. He's a questionable character, but it's Tyreek Hill.
That guy's a scumbag, but he's so good. Yeah,
that dude is so fast. He has a different level of speed and change of direction. Every time he's on the field, it's just like it's obvious he's the fastest, most electric player on the field. And that's the reason why I think Travis Kelce has so much success is that teams are worried about Tyreek Hill. It's like they don't want to get beat for a 70-yard touchdown. So they'd rather give up a 10-yard pass to Travis Kelce.
And no receivers that fast. 4.3. I mean, maybe there are, but I haven't heard anyone faster than Tyreek Hill.
I mean, I think and it's the change of direction. The dude he's just different.
Mm-hmm.
And Devante Adams. We can't go without mentioning Devante Adams, another really good receiver. But those are the top guys right there. You know, Stephon Diggs probably.
Yep. Yeah, is E. Kim still in the chat? I just want to ask him if he still would have drafted Sewell if we didn't move up for a quarterback. Because the PFF gave him the lowest ranking for an offensive lineman in the preseason.
Yeah, you know what?
I know
PFF saw some highlights
though.
You know what? I use PFF, and everyone's got their opinions. Not that it's the end all be all, but what I see with PFF, just a simple example is with Mike McGlinchey, right? I can see that he's a really good run blocker, and I knew that before looking at any PFF. I can see him getting to the second level, picking up a linebacker, picking up safeties in the run game. I'm like, he's a good run blocker. But then we see him in the pass game, and we see him getting beat too often. He's susceptible to the bull rush. Absolutely. So, and then I look at PFF, and it has Mike McGlinchey as one of the top run blockers and a slightly below average pass blocker. And I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I don't know. His pass blocking was below average for maybe even worse than that. But that was probably his weight.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to the guy.
Yeah, because I think he's going to make a jump this year. I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to live up to first round pick, but
you got your answer. So Kim still would have taken Sewell, but I saw some clips where Sewell wasn't looking so hot in the preseason.
I don't think he's going to be able to handle Bosa if Bosa's healthy. I know he's going to be on a pitch count. I mean, that's what I think.
Well, I think Sewell's on the right side.
Oh,
I feel like Bosa usually. I mean, he does kind of go back and forth, but usually he's going against the left tackles. I feel like. So, but those he switches it up and keeps offensive lines guessing on where he's going to line up.
Yeah, I think maybe he's gonna be taking Ford then, or Sampson, or.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the guys that are going to be going against Sewell.
Yeah, I don't think he can handle it, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Because I'm calling.
Hey,
I'm
we'll
thinking
find out. We're a week away. We're a week away. Tommy.
We are. I think we're gonna get 5 sacks on Goof, and he's gonna have 1 pick six too. But I also think Jimmy's gonna throw 1 or 2 picks in the game too. That's why I kind of your prediction was probably gonna be good because we're gonna be a little rusty. But we should beat him by at least 2 scores. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel you. And Ray made some good points earlier because it's like we've had this team, we've brought back a lot of our players. They have a lot of camaraderie. We should be kind of clicking here. And whereas the Lions, they got a lot of new blood, new coaching staff, learning new schemes. So yeah, we should throttle these guys.
Yeah, and I think
no excuse about it.
Yeah, exactly. And the young teams start out really strong, but then by the second half they fall apart. You know, they can't finish games. That's how the Niners were when they were young, at least in 2018. But that's also the injuries. But
yeah. Hey, Tommy, you got any last thoughts? Because I got one last caller that I got to take.
Okay.
But I want to hear. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest, or a last thought for the Niner fan base?
I just think we should be starting out 2-0. I mean, that's going to be a disappointing season to start out without 2-0
because then we got a tough 3-game stretch.
Exactly.
Right after that. So these first 2 games are critical that we win these games.
And Kyle Shanahan's a way better coach than both of these. I mean, Campbell is not a good. They could have got Saleh and they chose this dude. I mean, and the Eagles coach is not that good either. They're new coaches, so we should handle them all right.
I agree with that, Tommy. All right, man. Hey, you have a good day, all right? Enjoy your holiday weekend.
Yeah, thanks. Great talking to you as usual.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks.
All right, this last caller, it's going to be my last caller, and it's the man, the legend, Gavin. Gavin,
What's going on, Ebola, bro? How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing excellent, Gavin. Wales won.
Yes, mate. Right, it was 2-1 down. Gareth Bale at that trick he did. He scored 2 penalties and then he scored in stoppage time. Our World Cup hopes are still alive. Let's go Wales. Together stronger. Yes. Don't take me home. Please don't take me home. Yeah, love it, mate. Yes. Hopefully now we'll qualify for the World Cup and it'll be the first World Cup I've ever seen Wales qualify for. So, cross. They've never qualified for the World Cup in 60 years. Do you mean? So, yeah. 1954 was the last time Wales was in the World Cup.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Right then. So, I want to just add on to Timeout Tommy's point, right? And say how vital the first 2 games are, right? Just to get us up and running for the season, right? Yeah, we need to hit the ball, just get the ground running, and just steamroll the first 2 teams, right? And because we got the point 1 because we've got the difficult schedule coming after. The next 3 games are going to be difficult. But point 2, we need to shut Don Burr up. We've got to shut Don Burr up. Don Burr needs to shut his mouth, right? Yeah, because he's going to disappear like an echo. He's going to disappear after an echo after we do him, right? Yeah, week 1, no more Don Burr. Do you mean? So enjoy him while he's still there, guys. Like, do you mean? Right. So next point, right? Yeah. What's going on? Right. Yeah. Next point now, right? Yeah. I wanted to highlight, right, why Juice should be a captain on the 49ers bowler. Yeah. Right. Because the captain's going to be announced this week. Right. Yeah. Right, and we all know that Kyle Juszczyk should be a captain on the 49ers. So, Bowler, tell me why you think he should be.
Well, he's been with the team. I mean, this was the first free agent that the 49ers went and signed. Kyle Shanahan got hired, and that free agency period, their big move that offseason was to go get Kyle Juszczyk because he was a really good fullback over in Baltimore with the Ravens. And we all know Shanahan loves to utilize the fullback. So he's been with the team since the start of the Shanahan era. All right? I haven't heard a single person ever say a bad thing about Kyle Juszczyk, ever. You know, I think he's a really good teammate. I think he's a really good player. I mean, the guy, what position did he play at was it one of those Ivy League schools, Harvard or Yale?
Harvard, he went to Harvard, yeah. I think
Harvard.
he played fullback in the end, he did. I'm not sure what
he played either like receiver or quarterback.
Yeah, something like that it is, yeah.
So he's developed just this skill set that's phenomenal. When I was watching some of his route running against the Chargers, remember the Chargers? We had inter practice, and Grant put out a YouTube video of them doing one-on-one. It was like receivers on corners, tight ends on safeties, and running backs.
They couldn't get any chips.
Or in our case,
chips. They couldn't.
Fullback.
Yeah.
Juszczyk was routing these dudes up, getting so much separation and catching these balls where it's like, even Kittle and Warner, it's like they're barely getting open and they're catching some of them. Juszczyk was winning by a mile.
But let's skip that sort of thing because that's on my next point. That is right here. So, do you agree that he should be a captain on the 49ers now? And this, I mean, because when will the captains be announced? When are they announced?
I mean, you've been keeping your eye closer on this captaincy than I have.
So Grant says it's the week before the game, so it's this week sometime, like. Do you mean? So we all need to, like, anybody now right here who's doing lives, all you content creators need to come out now right here and make sure you voice that we want to see Cat Juice as a captain this season, right? Because if we all come out and say right here, we're going to put Kyle under pressure to do something about it. Because he got the captains wrong, and look how last season, and look how that went. Doing no chance right here. Now, what I'm thinking now right here, Bowler, right here, is what's the shelf life on a fullback? What's the shelf life? What's do you mean?
Honestly, I would probably say like 5 years for like a. I mean, unless you're phenomenal, unless you're really good.
So Calvin's check now is 28. Is 28, 29? Yeah, right. So he's been playing now 5 years already, haven't he? Right. No, so how much longer do you think?
Juice is different. Juice is different. He's not your average tight end.
Yeah, but this is what I want to say. I want to move Juszczyk to tight end, right? I think we should move him as a permanent tight end, right? Maybe bring him in the run game a little bit here and there, right? Do you mean? But bring Josh Hockett in. Just bring Josh Hockett and bring him off. I mean, why did we sign Charlie Warner for? Right? I can't understand it, right? Juszczyk is tight end number 3, right? For me, right? He can do everything Warner can do, right? He should just do. He can do everything, right? So
I mean, I kind of like Warner, to be honest. I've always kind of liked Warner. I think he's a good blocker. He's physical. He's bigger. We're comparing Josh Hockett to Charlie Warner, correct?
Yeah.
Man, Warner's bigger. Warner's got 5 or 6 inches on the guy.
Yeah, but it's going to save Juice in the long run. What I'm thinking about is saving Juice's body, like. Do you mean to increase his shelf life? Because what's the shelf life on a tight end? The tight ends play longer than fullbacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mean? So I'm just saying because he's getting a bit on a bit now, Kyle. Soon I think we should think about moving him to tight end permanently. Do you mean? That's what I would like to see anyway. Do you think I'm wrong there or?
I don't think because he's not. When you envision a tight end, it's not Kyle Juszczyk.
But he's always open. 44 is always open, Bowler. 44 is always open.
I know. And we utilize him. But you know what? Even though he's listed as a fullback, though, Gav, let me tell you something. Yeah. We use him in a lot of tight end ways. We put him in the slot, so we use him like a tight end. But you're not going to see the name of the position change for Kyle Juszczyk.
I got you. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. Really, that is Bowler. I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. I want to plug Shardol's channel. If you want to subscribe to Shardol, subscribe to Shardol Gupta. Right? I'm sure Bowler will put the link in the description for us all now if you want. Like, do you mean if you'll dig it up for us? But shout out to the boys. Do you mean you know who you are? Very faithful forever faithful. Thank you very much for putting on the show, Bowler. But thank you very much for doing it.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Gavin. Love to hear from you and your buddy from the UK area, Daryl. said to say hi in that wall.
Oh, hey, Jazz Paul. Yeah. What a man. The dude. Yeah. Jazz Party. That's it. Like, yeah. That's it. Like the QPR fan. The QPR stink. Queens Park Ranger. Who support Queens Park Rangers? Where have you heard of them, Bowler? Where have you heard of them? Exactly. Who are they? Queens Park Rangers. What a soccer team.
Hey, do you guys do Labor Day in the UK, or is that just US thing, United States? Like Monday is a holiday for us tomorrow.
No, we have Bank Holiday Mondays. We have Bank Holiday Mondays, but I don't think we celebrate Labor Day, no.
Okay.
No. Okay. Remembrance Day, yeah, but not Labor Day, sorry.
Yeah, we just make up days over here to hey, I'm not complaining about it.
You got your own culture, bro. You got to respect that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
All right,
then. Thank you very much.
Soon, all right.
All right then. Bye, Bowler.
See ya. Sorry, Gary. That was the last call that I can take for today. I want to thank everyone for coming by, and make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to do this again. I can't wait for NFL Game Pass to release the film. All right, give us the all 22 back. That way I can go and give you guys some film breakdowns. That's really what I love to do. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Catch you next time.